looking at the draft coming up, a few weeks away. Really anxious to see how this whole thing turns out, where everybody goes, because it's just.
Doesn't this seem like more than most years?
I felt like last year was more because they had the 5th overall pick, but this year, just in terms of all the quarterbacks involved and how people are up and down in these mocks, it feels more intriguing.
Yeah,
there are more questions, maybe.
It seems like it's more weird than ever. I heard somebody yesterday talking about Brock Bowers and how, a tight end isn't a game-changing position. And I'm like...
Tell that to Kansas City.
Yeah, but when you get the right guy like Kittle or Kelsey, I mean, Yeah, but anyway, he was talking about not... And, to his point, that's like the second lowest franchise tag number. Running back, you usually don't see running backs taken in the top 10 anymore, or really in the top half of the draft. But, but it just seems like, I don't know, maybe it's because, I don't know, they're back kind of in a familiar territory. We're used to them, in either the middle or the back half of the first round. And I don't know if it's because of that or maybe it's these quarterbacks. I mean, they're talking about next year it's going to be a really weak, draft year for quarterbacks. But there's really 6 guys that could go in the first round.
Yeah, if
you throw Nix and Penix in there. So, yeah, I think this is and then J.J. McCarthy is a huge question mark as well. So, but I don't know. I like the idea that people are going to panic and start taking quarterbacks, knowing that there's not much coming up in the drafts.
And you bring up Penix, which to me he's as fascinating as anybody because it feels like he's got every attribute you would want as a head coach in an organization, from his character to his play on the field.
Yeah, by his speed we know about.
His speed, his throwing ability. The guy's got a cannon arm. He can make all the throws. You've seen him throw the off-schedule throws. We've seen him do everything. He's got the injury history. By all accounts, checked out, thumbs up. Clean bill of health coming out of the combine. Yet he doesn't seem to have gained any momentum, and I know it's mock drafts. It's a conversation piece. Fine. But it just hasn't seemed to have taken, at least not publicly. Now, maybe the GMs behind the scenes are going, whoa, this kid is more than I expected, and, hey, we feel so much better getting the medical on him. Whatever. Maybe behind the scenes it's completely different. But I saw this story from CBS Sports. It said he's visiting the Giants, the Falcons, the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Steelers, but he's not visiting the Seahawks. So, and I don't know that that's a big surprise, but I think some hope was being held out that, all right, maybe they'll talk to him. But you always bring up, well, Grubb knows him as well as anybody could. So maybe it's not necessary if they do have an interest. But just on the surface, I kind of wanted just to see their name in there. Like, all right, they're going to bring him in and talk to him. Just the possibility that they could be looking at him, because I really feel like he could be one of these guys we're going to look at in a couple of years and go, wow, teams really missed on him. Yeah. I'm not saying he's going to be Patrick Mahomes. I'm not making that case, but maybe he's going to be better than where he ultimately gets drafted. And I was hoping to see their name in this list because the headline was something like 5 teams scheduled to speak with Penix. I'm like, oh, let me scroll in here and see who they are. And one of them wasn't Seattle.
Well, I have to say, I would think they only have 30, right? They get 30 visits.
30 visits.
So I would think I guess I would go the other way and go, that's kind of dumb. You've got a guy, Ryan Grubb, who knows everything about him, and that's what they're trying to do. Like, they're trying to, they're going to get more on him than they'll have on anybody else, right?
Yeah. I
mean, you got a coach that's been working with him. I get it, wanting to see that the Seahawks it's a possibility. But, yeah, I mean, I think that those 30 visits are precious. And, I think you wrote this in an email or something about, remember the story from last year where he talked about how the one guy, when, they brought the guys in, was like kind of dissing him a little bit, wouldn't talk to him, wouldn't look at him.
The GM.
And then all of a sudden John gets up to the front of the room and he could see the guy shake his head like, oh, geez, I blew it.
Yeah.
But, they're trying to get, a feel on what kind of guy he is. And I imagine he's, think about how many hours he spent with Ryan Grubb.
Yeah.
And for, years now. So, yeah, I'm okay with that. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I want them to be in the mix. I really want him to be a Seahawk. But How weird would that be if they drafted him at the 16th pick? I mean,
it would be surprising. As much as I want it to be part of the possibility, I'd be pretty stunned.
You'd be like
pretty stunned.
Well, and I think a lot of people would be like, "What are you doing?" I mean, you just traded draft choices away for Sam Howell.
Yeah, a third round and a fifth round.
And you got Geno, who was proven. I mean, he didn't have the greatest year last year, but he had, 4 come from behind, game-winning drives, and that was something we used to always, talk about with Russell Wilson and what a great thing. Like, is he that kind of quarterback? Can he take you on a game-winning drive or, take you into the playoffs and win a game? And he hasn't done that, but he kind of answered the question and checked the box on the other one, that he can win a game for you. So, yeah, it would just be so confusing, but a very John Schneider-like move, probably.
Well, we talked to John about those 30 visits, and he explained what they're looking for in those visits.
Yeah, great question. It's a lot of guys that did not get invited to the combine, and then whether or not we want to spend more time learning the person and rechecking a hamstring pull or a groin, whatever. Just have them come in and get another update on whatever injury type they have going on, and it's really trying to get your board as clean as you possibly can, so we have a direction that everybody feels comfortable about. And so Matt Berry, Trent, Nolan, everybody does a great job. Aaron Heinlein of identifying what's been going on with these pro days and what we need to do moving forward to gain more information on every single prospect that is going to be on our board.
It's funny, he talks about Aaron Heinlein. I've known Aaron for, 15 years, and I probably see him once a year. Because these scouts, man, they just disappear. They're just gone.
Probably traveling every week,
just
right?
Scouring the country. So, well, and they have regions, obviously, so it's not like they're going all over the country. But yeah, I get the sense from him, and the more that we talk to John, that the medical part is really important to them. And he mentions that a lot, and I'm just saying it because I hear him bring it up a lot. It sounds like, that's like the number one thing, that he is trying to avoid is we're not going to draft some guy that's got, hurt, or he's got some, something like no ACLs or whatever.